All right, guys, we talked about before controlling the baseball. You've heard us say this last year in years past, also, say years or seasons past, about when we control the baseball, we generally win ball games because I know our team's going to hit. And we'll talk about hitting and some other things, but what's most important is going to be controlling this thing going into this season. Again, we're getting a little older, a little more experienced, but so are other teams, and they're doing a very good job of controlling this. So we'll get into the fielding aspect of things, but what I want to talk about today is controlling the ball when we're throwing it. More importantly, where does the ball start? And it starts with the pitcher. And his job, again, is to control the baseball, throwing strikes, which is the key emphasis for this year when we're pitching is, look, I don't care how hard you throw it, I want to make sure that we're throwing strikes, controlling the ball. On the other end, once the ball's thrown, then we're going to control it with the catch. If it's hit, we're going to control it with the field, and then we got to make another throw. But the big thing I want to talk about today is controlling the ball when we're throwing. It's going to start a couple different ways. Now, I talked about just activities you can do while watching TV. So if you're throwing the ball in the glove, getting it out, throwing the ball in the glove, getting it out into a good grip, and getting into a throwing position with that grip. So it doesn't, I don't care how fast you can get the ball out of your hand, but if you don't have a grip on it, it's not going to go where you desire or towards your target. So remember, we get the ball, especially if we're starting with it or with the pitcher, get a good grip first. Now, what does that grip look like? Okay, this is going back to old school baseball camp, but there's generally two ways you can grip a baseball. A four-seam grip, when trying to throw the ball straight, I should say. A four-seam grip, okay, which means when it rotates, you can see four seams. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or the other way, turning it this way, two seam. Now we rotate it, we see 1, 2. Now I don't know if you can see it because of the brightness of my light here, but so we either got four seams or two seams. Now generally, I like to throw a four-seamer. When I was playing the outfield, first base, whatever, this is the grip that I always practiced getting out of my glove. Now I can, as my arm is moving back, I'm rotating the ball with my fingers, getting a feel to that four-seam grip, okay? That's something that you practice. However, if you want to be accurate, getting a consistent grip is key. A consistent way in which you can get the ball to your throwing position so you can make an accurate throw. Now again, this is going to be our first thing. Getting a consistent grip. However you hold it, whether it's with 2 fingers, if your hand is big enough, or 3 fingers on the baseball, just getting a consistent grip with the ball over and over and over again will make you a little more, I guess, aware of how you're holding the baseball, get that better feel that we're talking about, because again, baseball is a feel sport. So, the grip is number 1. Number 2, we want to focus on what our target is. Eventually, I want you to figure out how hard you can throw the baseball and still hit a target. But the biggest thing is going to be recognizing what our target is and hitting our target. A couple ways in which you can do this at home. Now, I'm not recommending that you're throwing baseballs against your walls at home, but if you have even like a soft ball, something that's not going to do any damage, make a target on the wall. I used to do this all the time. We used to use chalk or a stone. We'd go over to a wall in a building. I'm not recommending you go do this, but this is just what we used to do. We'd find a brick wall or a cement wall on a building. We'd either draw a strike zone, draw a circle, and it'd be like target practice. We'd get baseballs, tennis balls, racket balls, lacrosse balls, any kind of ball that you can find, something we can throw at a target, and we'd try to hit the target. If we can hit it from a certain distance, then we'd back up, and we're playing a game in the neighborhood. Who can hit the target? So find a way that you can practice throwing a ball to a target. If you have a net at home, set it up. If you have a bucket of balls, even better, practice throwing into a target. Then once you make a big target, start shrinking that thing down and trying to hit a smaller and smaller target. You can use tape. I've got tape here in my little workshop area, painter's tape. You can use chalk. You can use paint. Ask your parents first about that. But make sure that we focus on an area, a target, because ultimately your area is going to be this big, the size of the person's glove that you're throwing the ball to. So you can start by making it a little bigger, like a strike zone size, or like a hula hoop size, and start to shrink that thing down until you're hitting something about the size of a glove. Now, what does that mean? Okay, why are we doing that? Because again, every time you were throwing the baseball, I don't recall, but maybe you can think of one, a time where I'm going to be throwing a baseball on the field without the intention of it going into somebody else's glove. There's no other reason for me to throw a baseball than for it to end up in somebody else's glove. So we're going to be practicing hitting targets about glove size. A catcher's mitt size, a first base mitt size, somebody's shortstop or second base size. Okay? These are the targets that we're going to have are going to be somebody else's glove. Now, the less we can make somebody else on the other end move their glove, the easier it's going to be for them to catch. So this is part of controlling the baseball, controlling with our accuracy. Now you're going to get there by practicing that. Not only getting a feel for the ball, but getting a feel for throwing the ball. I don't want you to try to throw 100 miles an hour right out the gate. I want you to first hit some targets. Okay? Practice. Throw the baseball towards an intended target. We're not just going to throw just to throw. So, if I got a recommendation for you, it's get out, go somewhere, play catch with somebody. If you don't have the opportunity to play catch, get a bucket of balls. I don't care if it's tennis balls, racket balls, baseballs, wiffle balls, whatever it is, but your intention, whatever you're throwing, is going to be to hit a target on the other end. Make that target big at first, and then shrink that thing down and challenge yourself until you're hitting something a lot smaller, like, again, the size of a glove. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, other things that we need to go over as far as accuracy.